When using enemy randomization, certain versions of Gargoyle warriors will rip a chunk out of Agrabah. As of the making of this video, enabling companions deal damage to all enemies and bosses will cause Armoured Xemnas 2 to detach from his chair.
Yeah!
With Magnera or Magnaga and a high enough magic stat, you can one-shot everything in the 1000 Heartless battle.
Gather! Gather! Gather!
This can be optimized by looking down in the first-person camera.
Okay. Gather! 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 There! Gather! There! Gather!
If Zexion appears as a boss in simulated Twilight Town, he will be unable to turn Roxas into a book. However, he will succeed if you change into limit form. You also cannot dispel Zexion's book unless you are in limit form.
Yeah! Yeah!
If you summon Stitch before the first Port Royal fight, your game will crash.
Give me strength! Hurrah!
But if you summon Stitch during the fight, the game won't crash.
Give me strength! Hurrah! It's no use. We can't beat them.
If you never touch the ground during Twilight Thorn's cinematic attack, the next sequence will never start. If you guard with Pureblood, you'll trigger this sound. If you enable Skip Atlantica minigame tutorial and quit the subsequent cutscene, your seed will be permanently bugged. Instead of receiving the reward from completing the tutorial and progressing, Atlantica is now stuck in a permanent loop. By talking to Sebastian, you'll see that the same cutscene triggers. Quitting it puts you back in the same state as before. If you decide to let the cutscene play out, you will receive the reward for completing the tutorial. But the world will still never progress to the next stage. Although, by talking to Sebastian and letting the cutscene play out over and over, you now have an endless supply of whatever the reward is. In my case, I now have unlimited blazing shards.
Yay!
If you try to view Hollow Bastion's character files and Jiminy's journal before interacting with the computer, the game will crash. But the game won't crash if you open the character links first. You don't have to complete an odd job to progress in simulated Twilight Town, you can just quit one. Due to a failsafe being added to the Cavern of Remembrance to ensure you do not softlock yourself, you have access to a safer and more optimal exit.
Yeah.
Due to the removal of large chests, quickly opening 2 chests in succession causes the pop-up for what you've obtained to not appear. It will even remove the pop-up for any additional chests opened until you room transition. If you go into limit form with Roxas Magic Movement Trinity enabled, just as Twilight Thorn tries to lock you into its reaction command, you will stop the sequence from occurring.
It's over.
You aren't softlocked, however, as you can very slowly attack Twilight Thorn's lingering hitbox with Ragnaroks.
Give me strength. Let's go. Give me strength.
But if you're lucky enough to have good movement and a fire, you can speed things up dramatically by using fire alongside physical attacks.
Take this. It's over. It's over.
Atlantica's world symbol appears incorrectly from behind. There are approximately 600 locations where items will spawn in the Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. From pop-ups to plain old chests, there's a variety in where you'll find your loot. But how many of these locations are missable? As in, if you don't grab the loot the first time round, you can never grab it again. The answer? 0. Every single check can be retrieved at a later time. On the other hand, Reverse Rando isn't so lucky. For those unaware, Reverse Rando flips the visit order on its head, so you'll be fighting Xaldin first and Darkthorn second. However, the final state of many worlds matches the final state of the first visit, making many locations permanently inaccessible. This results in checks that become unobtainable if you miss them the first time round. So, let me show you which checks are missable in Reverse Rando. 100 Acre Wood has 17 missable chests, 2 in Starry Hill, 6 in the Spooky Cave, 3 in Kanga's house, 3 in Rabbit's house, and 3 in Piglet's house. Agrabah has 2 missable chests, both are in the Ruined Chamber. Hollow Bastion has 19 missable checks, 4 chests in the Postern, 4 chests in the Corridors, 2 chests in Ansem's Study, 1 chest in the Heartless Manufactory, 2 chests in the Restoration Site, 4 chests in the Crystal Fissure, and 2 pop-ups in the Mushroom 13 reward. The Cavern of Remembrance has 21 missable chests, aka every single chest in the Cavern of Remembrance. Land of Dragons has 8 missable chests, all of which are located in the throne room. Port Royal has 7 missable chests, all found in the ship graveyard area of the world. 1 is in the Interceptor's hold, 3 in Seadrift Row, and 3 in Seadrift Keep. So in total, we have 74 missable checks. However, the count doesn't actually end at 74 because of puzzles. Since the puzzle pieces are scattered across different locations among each world, some of these pieces become inaccessible. As a result, the Frontier, Daylight, and Sunset puzzle rewards are missable, giving us a new total of 77. Once again though, the count doesn't end at 77 because of synthesis. Due to certain enemies being restricted to second visits, some synthesis materials become inaccessible. Blazing crystals become inaccessible because they drop from crescendos and crimson jazzes. Lightning gems become inaccessible because they drop from armored knights and surveillance robots. And power crystals become inaccessible because they drop from morning stars. So, how many important checks has the second visit exclusive Heartless cost us? Well, it depends on the seed you're playing. This is because the synthesis materials required to make each item is random. Therefore, this can impact between 0 to 30 synthesis items in a seed. But to get a rough average, I generated 75 seeds and noted down how many synthesis items required either a blazing crystal, lightning gem, or power crystal. This resulted in a median of 6. However, unlike chests and puzzle pieces, these synthesis items aren't necessarily unobtainable. If you mark blazing crystals, lightning gems, and power crystals as junk items, then you may find the required materials without ever needing to fight the Heartless that dropped them. But if we ignore that fact, we have around 83 missable items in reverse rando, so be sure to double check you've got everything before progressing in these settings. When going against Xigbar, you are unable to use summons, just like the original game.
Good backdrop!
Unlike the original game, however, there's nothing stopping you from bringing a summon into the fight if Xigbar appears in a different arena.
Give me strength! Hurrah!
You really shouldn't have betrayed us. Good backdrop!
You'll also find that Stitch completely counters Xigbar.
Oh yeah?
If you swap Roxas' Keyblade while in limit form and then revert, the game will crash. Thresholder's second phase can be bypassed with high enough stats and tools you aren't supposed to have this early in the game. These tools are Limit Form Strike Grade,
Take this!
Limit Form Zenteskin,
This is Shan-Yu!
and Reflect. With enough movement and drive forms, you can skip this cutscene trigger above Shan-Yu.
Give me strength! Yeah! Ha! Light! Ha!
This allows you to plunder all the loot from the throne room early. Just make sure block skipping Shan-Yu is disabled or you'll be sent back to the entrance.
Yeah! Let's go! Ha! Light! Ha! Yeah!
That's it for episode 1 of this series. If you learned something new, please consider subscribing to the video and liking the channel. Oh, shit. If you learned something new, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. My goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so your subscription will go a long way. If you think you know anything of interest, comment down below, or reach out to me on my socials. Shout out to my channel members, with special thanks to my Tier 2 supporters, Matthios and RadHuC. And also, a big shout out to the team behind the Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer mod and its adjacent tools. My Kingdom Hearts 2 content would not exist right now if it wasn't for their tireless work in making this game playable in a whole new way. Finally, thank you, the viewer, for watching. I wish you all the best.